Hey guys, Elijah Green here today, here with a 5th place deck profile from the TTD Regional. Was boring this weekend, played Kashtira. So in case you have any events left in this list before a Rise Heart gets banned, you can check out what I've been working with. Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and get right into it. I'll do shout outs at the end. So Kashtira stuff, obviously 2 Unicorn, 3 Fenrir, 3 Rise Heart, 1 Scareclaw. Perfect ratio. Nothing's changed. Planet, terraforming, 6 of the spells, obviously. Big Bang, because you have to. I drew it like 7 times today. Triple pot. I cut the 1 Desires because of the next card that I'm going to show you. I needed to make 1 more space for a defensive slot. So Desires was just the most cuttable card. Surprisingly, didn't brick for a single game today, so worked out. But the new card today, we cut Lance for Crossout Designator. So the idea was this card does all the same things Lance does, stops all the books and imperms, but it also can stop Droll, which has been extremely popular. Nib, it's insane in the mirror. It can hit some generic stuff. It works as like an offensive interruption because you can hit stuff like Prosperities, Terraformings from just like other random decks. And then it also unbricks the hands where you draw both cash spells plus whatever this slot is, which happens a lot to me. So being able to just like banish a guy, birth it back, and then Theosis target it is pretty good. Yeah, this card was unreal for me today. So when you see these crazy defensive ratios that look super bad, that's why they are what they are. So 2 Eclipse, 2 Book of Moon. I play the 3rd of each in the side deck. Had to make room for the other defensives, so I just played 2 of each. Triple Ash. I wanted to respect the random decks like Branded and Labyrinth enough to play 3 of this card, and you can use the additional copies of it to just like add Baron to your end board, so it's like the one you're okay with drawing more than one of most often. Triple Shifter. It's like the reason to play this deck over Pearl League cards. Unreal. And then for the crossout stuff, 1 Droll, 1 Talents. Just wanted to have them because super high impact versus you sometimes. So just having them as crossout targets and then decent cards to draw anyways is fine. And then 2 Imperm. Had to cut 1 to fit some of the other crossout targets. So that is it for the main deck. I'll do the side deck real quick. Just a lot of it's shoring up some of the ratios for the crossout stuff. So the 3rd copy of each book. I play 1 Nib. I didn't think people would main Nib because there's too many decks it's like unactivatable against. But I wanted to put it in post side for the crossout. It's fine. There's a world you should probably play a 2nd or 3rd because it's so good against the Unchained deck, and that deck kind of scary. So maybe you would play more of this, but I don't know. I didn't play against that deck today, so it was fine, but maybe a world you find more room for it. 2 more Drolls. Maybe this is the spot that could be 2 more Nibs, but I was more scared of like the FTK style decks like Synchron, Mana Dome, stuff like that. Didn't play any of it, but just a nice insurance policy, and it's good to put in like the 2 books plus these like over like the shifters and the Big Bang in the mirror so that you can have as many hand traps in hand as possible. And then card I did not use today at all, XYZ Encore. I didn't play any Pearly. It's just like the next closest thing to 2 more copies of Book of Moon that you can play against them. Arguably a little better because they don't get their sleepy draws off the first guy. So this card's pretty good. It would be good in the mirror, but you never know who's going to be going first in the mirror, and this card's really bad when you go first in the mirror. So it's like kind of awkward to side it unless you just know the person's going to choose to go first. Triple Barrier, probably one of the best cards in the format, just super generic, really powerful. And then the 5 spell trap removal, Duster, Storm, 2 Cosmics. Honestly, maybe there's a world that it should be 3 Cosmic. I like this card going first versus like the mirror a lot. It's extremely good versus Unchained, solid versus the trap decks. Just very generically useful card, but yeah, that's the side deck. Extra deck, which doesn't really matter that much. Donner, have to play it. Baron for the Ash stuff. Shang. I still only play 2 Shang, and then the 1 Arise. 3 never comes up for me. I think it's fun. And then double Zeus, double Big Eye, 1 Dark Arm. And then Draco Sack for skill drain. And then I played 4 Prosperity targets, 1 Skull Knight, 1 Skull Wagon, Garura, Goliath. Shout out to my buddy Zach. I was playing Omega in this slot, but it just doesn't really come up, like putting back your Arise Heart after it gets outed or whatever. That's just not a real scenario. Like, I think this is just better to have versus like the trap decks to like load up in case your Arise Heart gets outed. Just like having a way to pop back row afterwards is really good. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Thank you guys so much. Shout outs to Dragon Inc. and all the guys on JNC and all my boys. All right. Thank you all so much.